Record.
All right, everyone. Hello and welcome to the Evolution of Wellness. It's a series of Evolve classes to educate and inspire your personal health evolution. I am Dr. Colleen Cashel, and with me is Dr. Valerie Cardillo.
Hello, everyone.
And we are the guides of the wellness inspiration. And Evolves are what we're kind of terming our version of webinars, podcasts, and in-person workshops to educate and inspire your personal health evolution. So that's my favorite word, is evolution. So we're going to come right in. Val's going to do a little disclaimer for us.
So all of the following that we're going to be presenting to you today is for informational purposes only. Please discuss anything with your own healthcare professional before beginning any program if there's something that you see here. Also, research and understand on your own how any of this information may help you and your own health concerns. So, Energize Your Health, an Evolve class from us, the Evolution of Wellness. It's energies, frequencies, and vibrations within the body. It's the bioenergetics of your body. So we're going to be diving a little deep into the world of bioenergetics. It's a new medical term to explain the energy process and the energetic processes that allow our bodies to function, because we are all bioenergetic beings. So we are going to take the energy, frequencies, and vibrations within your body. So what is it and how does it work?
For us to begin all this, we really got to start with a good foundation. So we wanted to explain to you about how your body regulates itself. There are two ways. It uses biochemistry, which is using nutrients like calcium and magnesium, using your hormones, and also biochemistry is affected by medications, but those create a forced chemical reaction in your body. And the second way that it regulates itself is through biophysics, and that's through energetic cellular processes, and those are called bioenergetics. So that's where we get that term from. So the first one, the biochemistry, we're all very familiar with this. It's these chemical processes in our body that happen all the time. It's how we digest our food and we break down our nutrients, and that's called metabolism. We have enzymes and hormones that actually trigger processes to happen. And then in our brain, we have neurotransmitters to regulate brain functions. Now, these things are all vital to life, and they are actually, chemical reactions that are happening. And I had to use the periodic table. I found that cool. Oh crap.
Oh crap.
Very funny.
So it's just you could say anything with chemistry. So, oh crap was very cute. So bioenergetics, it's the study, detection, and correction of the energy in living systems. And you correct the body's energy system, and you could, in theory, correct anything. That's a quote from Harry Massey of the Energy of Life book. The National Institute of Health defines bioenergetics as a scientific study of interactions between living organisms and electromagnetic fields, forces, energies, currents, and charges. And that's what we're going to be talking about and explaining today.
So bioenergetics also helps us understand the interconnectedness with all living things, even our connection to the earth and its frequencies. The study of bioenergetics explains how our bodies actually do have their own energy field, and that's called our biofield or a bioinformation field. And we're going to discuss the components of energy and give you a little window into how energy, frequencies, and vibrations create the actual organized world that we live in, and how they affect our health and how we can avoid the negative and utilize the positive. There is a lot of emerging research that's showing that bioenergetics, the regulation that we just talked about, the bioenergetic regulation, is a super efficient way that the body works. There's super fast energy processes that actually are what triggers those chemical reactions, that biochemical way for those to start first. So it's the beginning of everything.
So we have some quotes. So just the theories of energy and the belief of its effects on the body, it goes back centuries. So the Egyptian god of wisdom, Tahuti, said, "Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. And of course, Aristotle, who was all about energy, the energy of the mind is the essence of life. Aristotle understood that energy affects the mind. And even in ancient Greece, your guy,
Well, this is actually I can never pronounce this guy's name, Nisargadatta. He was a Hindu yogi and guru and teacher. He was born in the late 1800s. But his quote is really cool. There is in the body a current of energy, affection, and intelligence, which guides, maintains, and energizes the body. Discover the current and stay with it. So that's awesome.
that's where we're going. That's where we're heading.
Everyone's kind of familiar with the name Tesla now because of the cars.
Tesla cars.
But he was a researcher back in the late 1800s and 1900s. And this is a great quote. And this is where we get a lot of inspiration from. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. We want you to understand that everything has a vibration, a vibrational frequency, even solid things. Frequencies have been scientifically researched for over a century, in our modern world. Researched for the health and the healing benefits, but also researched for making power and communications. And quantum physics is that modern study of the behavior and the movement of energy at the subatomic and even smaller levels that, I think there's something called a quark, if I remember correctly. But we want you to understand that energy is motion and everything is in motion. Energy moves at different speeds. And like I said, even solid objects have a frequency. So the more solid a substance is, the slower that energy or that frequency. The less solid a substance is, it's moving faster, basically. But again, understand everything is energy, and especially our bodies.
So to help us understand some of these basics, we put together some definitions to lay some groundwork for what we're discussing. We're discussing the energy and the power to do work. And of course, all energy is in motion. Vibration, oscillation, and movement of atoms and particles caused by energy. And frequency, the rate of which oscillation and vibration is happening. Hertz, which is the unit measured at the rate of frequency, one cycle, one vibration per second, and sound. Vibrations at certain frequencies. We're going to connect everything for you and how it all affects the body.
So if we're going to talk about frequencies and vibrations, we got to start with the natural world. Nature is like an invisible orchestra because there's so much going on. Nature creates very rhythmic patterns of frequencies, and they create magnetic energy fields, which control our weather, the sun and day and night, oceans and waves, the growth of our plants and animals, the movement of insects and birds and fish, who are going to use the Earth's magnetic fields for navigation, which I think is really cool when you see Shark Week, where they show you about all the sharks, and those sharks can travel, thousands of miles, and they know how to go from one place to another. But ultimately, all biological life is affected by and utilizes frequencies. Nature also creates sounds, like Val was just saying before. Those are waves of vibrations at varying frequencies that can be heard. And sounds have been proven to assist the body in healing through hundreds of different types of experiments.
So one really cool way that we have found is cymatics, which is the Greek word for wave. So the way you can see frequencies and vibrations and how it affects the world that we live in, we have a little video for you. Nigel Stanford is a musician and composer, and he has a whole bunch of these on YouTube, so you can look them up yourself. But we're just going to give you a little insight as to how cymatics allows you to see the organization and the fluid of movement through sound. So the waves aren't really seen in nature. We hear them, but watch a little bit of the video.
Has no characters. If you spare a little of your imagination, this is a film to describe describe to you the effect of cymatic frequencies on matter.
This is cool. Sound can make motion move. Motion move. That's so cool. So cool. Okay. So we just saw in the video how sound causes vibrations. Well, sound is also used for healing. Vibrational medicine. There we go. Vibrational medicine or sound vibrational therapy. It's the practice used for vibrational energy of the human voice as well as objects that resonate. So we have tuning forks, gongs.
Tibetan singing bowls.
Yeah, I can't say it. These go beyond relaxation and stimulate healing by creating energy and vibration. So those who've experienced sound healing, which is new. So you could see on here, it gives you different ways of where sound healing works. So they say that it's non-invasive, it's relaxing, and they've gotten great results from it. Music therapy, for example, has found to be amazingly effective, well-established, risk-free technique that has been shown to have many health benefits. There is a belief that the potency of sound, not only to promote relaxation, but to relieve ailments for common aches and pains and anxieties of something like chemotherapy and other health stuff. Music has been used by therapists for years to help individuals with a wide range of cognitive and emotional challenges. For example, children and adults with autism, also brain injuries. Think about how music affects your life. A song, that's energy vibrations of the instruments and voices. And a song can bring up all kinds of emotions. That's energy. That's how it resonates with you. It's positive or negative energy and the vibration of sound. Therapists and physicists argue that energy vibrations of sound can have physiological effects because its vibrations are not merely heard, but also felt. They are finding that vibroacoustic sound therapy, which is so cool, also lowers your heart rate variability, relaxes your brainwave patterns, reduces respiratory rates, and improves pain management, and a whole lot more. There was a study done in 2014, March 31st, 2014, at the University of Illinois at Chicago, where researchers reported that wounds may heal more quickly if exposed to low intensity vibrations. And we'll get into that later. But in this finding, I'm just going to paraphrase it. They found in a group of mice that had type 2 diabetes. And they found that it holds a lot of promise for 18 million Americans who have type 2 diabetes, especially the quarter of them that will eventually suffer from foot ulcers. Because when you're diabetic, it actually causes your wounds to tend to heal slower and become more chronic and worsen. So they're finding that vibration actually helps a wound heal faster. So energy of sound through vibration is very good for the body. So find out what resonates for you. and help your body recharge.
And we all know we have certain songs and different things that just feel good for us and we, enjoy listening to. So they resonate with us. It's a cool thing. I just want to mention that if anybody's coming in, if you could mute yourself, just because I couldn't figure out how to mute everybody. So,
So please
appreciate
mute.
it. Thank you. So if we're going to talk about energy, we do have to talk about some of the, the more scientific sides. And we're going to talk about electromagnetic fields, or EMFs. And it's something I'm sure everybody at this point has heard that term. And it's basically explaining the energy all around us. We live in the presence of them everywhere. The Earth has its own natural magnetic field, and it has its own resonance frequency. It's 7.83 hertz. And it's called the Schumann resonance, and that is the man who actually discovered this resonance frequency of the Earth. So EMFs can be natural or unnatural. They are all invisible. We don't see any of them. And the amount of EMFs we are living within now is enormous, and it's getting greater. EMFs can affect the body negatively and changing body functions and possibly causing damage and disease over time. So some of the natural EMFs that we might come across are things like lightning, which create a electromagnetic pulse. The sun gives us ultraviolet rays.
Yep.
And these things aren't inherently bad, but in large doses, they can cause damage, right? You can get a really bad sunburn. You can get skin cancer. Unnatural EMFs are radio waves, microwaves, X-rays, cell phones, Bluetooth, wireless routers, smart meters, power lines, and the
Whole lot more.
a whole lot more. And the dreaded 5G that people are really talking about. 5G is kind of next level. It's an enormous disruptor to our personal bioenergetic fields. There are going to be thousands more antennas around with 5G. They're going to be closer to the ground, meaning closer to you, your house, your place of work, and your children's schools, like all these things. So not a great thing. EMFs create what are called electromagnetic radiation. And
Go play one game. I'm just gonna.
sometimes,
Please mute.
hey Diane, if you could mute.
Well, I have to clean
Sorry.
the kitchen, so. Okay, yeah, let's do it now. A little bit. I'm gonna start cleaning the kitchen in a few.
I can't.
How do we mute?
I'm gonna try to see if I can. There we go. I figured that out.
Okay. Sorry, Diane, we muted you.
Okay, so electromagnetic frequencies create what is called electromagnetic radiation. It's sometimes called electrosmog, which I say seems like a kind of a cool word, but there's research about all these negative effects from the EMF. We live in this world, it's getting more and more filled with EMF and at closer and closer ranges like we just talked about. EMF creates a static in your body's normal bioenergetic processes, and that creates dysfunction. People can have strong sensitivities to EMF and have faster negative reactions from EMF than maybe someone else that has more resistance to it. There is also research showing that EMFs and EMR can create real damage to your body at high levels. And lower dose levels with continual daily exposure can be just as harmful because of all the, the long duration of it and the continued exposure over time. And we just can't get away from it. For
It happened to me. It happens to me, and you don't even realize that you're sitting in front of the computer all day, you're holding your cell phone all day, you're working from home now, and everybody's on computers more and on things, and you start to get a headache, your eyes start to hurt. It goes beyond that. And that's what we're trying to get across too. So we know people that it's actually had physiological effects, too much EMF.
Yeah, and we just want to highlight some of the signs of the sensitivity that you might not make those connections to. Maybe you're just kind of feeling like, man, I'm getting old, when it really could be other things. Memory loss and concentration, I'm blaming it on EMF. Pains throughout our body, heart palpitations, nausea and headaches, different aches and pains. And sometimes it's sensations like burning and tingling and prickling sensations. So There are also much stronger biological effects that have been researched to show that what EMF can create, and it can actually cause genetic effects. It can create cancer, behavioral changes, issues with our nervous system and our brain. And if you go back to kind of the signs or the sensitivities and some of those things, it makes sense. You can cause cardiovascular problems, sleep problems, a host of things. So we just wanted to kind of make sure everyone starts thinking a little differently about this and making maybe some different choices on how much you use devices and all that
Absolutely.
also.
Be more aware of how you can slightly correct it.
So let's look a little bit more at our bodies and the frequencies in our body. So on the left side of the slide there, you can see there's some of the different organs of our body, and those are the resonant frequencies that go along with those organs. So you can see they're similar and stuff, but they have some different, some changes there. All the cells in our body resonate at a specific frequency. And an organ is basically a group of cells at the same frequency all working together. So if it's the liver, all the cells in it are going to be resonating with the same frequency. Now, modern medicine does measure and treat certain organs based upon frequencies. And one of the ways is EEGs with the brain and assessing the frequencies of our brain waves. We actually also use EKGs, and that assesses our heart's electromagnetic frequencies. And our bodies do have their own biofield of information, but organs and our cells are a little bit different and more specific, and kind of, we want it all to work together in harmony. Our biofield is kind of a big culmination of all of it. And the biofield, the term we're using, is basically the same energy field that ancient medicines have worked in for thousands of years. But it's kind of misunderstood because there really was no way to measure it back then. So now we have devices that we can measure, and we can, kind of go along with stuff. And I wanted to talk about the top one is a little, looks like a heart rate.
Okay.
This actually is the heart rate variability that shows you the differences. It's another thing that is very well documented, and it shows how our bodies are affected by stress and how it affects, how the effects are on the body. There are loads of studies that show that more stress on our body and minds creates imbalances in our energy systems. We do have a regulation system called the autonomic nervous system. And there's two sides. There's a sympathetic and a parasympathetic. And you may have heard some of these terms, but I talk about this all the time in the office because I do HRV studies on everyone. Sympathetic is our fight or flight side. There's the side where we don't get enough sleep, high stress, our go, go, go side of life. The parasympathetic side is the rest and digest side, the sleep and the relax side. We want balance between these two sides of our system.
Absolutely.
But all the stress in our lives, mentally from our fast-paced lives, and all the physical stress from our poor diets, possibly lack of sleep, sitting too much. And what's sitting too much mean?
Sitting is the new smoking to your body.
Right, it really is. And nowadays, with the way our lives are, with Zoom, sorry to put you on another Zoom call here, but one of the things that we are very concerned about is how much our children are sitting in front of computers. So we combine sitting and EMFs. So be aware of these things, and we're going to give you some ideas on how to kind of counteract it.
So the heart, one of the most important bioenergetic organs of all, is the heart. So the heart,
maybe there was like a slide that I can make the voice louder.
Dad, can you mute yourself? We're going to mute you.
I don't know this thing.
Okay. Thanks, Dad. The HeartMath Institute has research and technology to prove that the heart is the strongest electromagnetic field in the human body. It sends vibrations out and senses emotional vibrations from others. The Institute states that our emotions are encoded in this heart field of energy. The heart works closely with the brain and sends and receives signals back and forth. As you can see, it is kind of cool. The heart field can be measured 3 feet away, and the brain waves only about an inch. Okay. This is important, but we're going to take a moment and go back thousands of years. Ancient religious and healing practices all refer to energy and its effects on the body, both physically, emotionally, and spiritually, the triune of health. The Chinese traditions of TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, utilizes acupuncture meridians as energy tracks flowing through the body. Okay, you got to say it.
Ayurvedic.
Ayurvedic Indian traditions have chakras as the centers in the body that energy flows through. Blockages in these two systems of your meridians and your chakras creates imbalances. Prana, Shakti, and Chi are names of energy flowing through chakras and meridians. They have been used for centuries to explain that the energy flows within the body. Blockages of energy and the effects of those blockages the effects of those blockages have on the body are believed to cause the imbalances and possibly disease. These systems of energies were used to explain our connection to the earth and all of nature. So that's what they used in ancient times. And we're actually getting into it. There are more people into chakras and meridians and auras now, but there's so much information related to the meridians and the chakras and the auras that we're going to be doing in another Evolve class later on, getting into everything. But I just wanted to say about the emotional energy. And if you look at the slide with the 7 chakras from crown to root, the heart chakra is your main chakra. Everything above the heart chakra is emotional, and it's emotional energy affecting your systems. And everything below is physical. So it all ties into the energy that's in your body and how it works and runs.
That's balance.
Why is he still talking? Dad, don't talk. Good vibes.
All right, so we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about feelings and emotions. So, good vibes. We all like to use that term, and we all have instances where maybe we, enter into a room or a building or something, and you just don't feel right. You say, I don't know, I'm getting a bad vibe here. Certain people, maybe somebody you meet for the first time. Maybe you're in a concert and you're like, wow, it is like electric in here. So some of these terms that we use, words that we use to describe emotions or feelings are all because we're connected to the frequencies of these things. So we want to talk a little bit more now about that connection, our thoughts and our emotions, and those vibrations that happen at those various frequencies. We're going to talk a little bit about some experiments that Val found, which are really cool.
Dr. Masaru Emoto, he's a researcher as well as an alternative healer from Japan. He has given the world a great deal of evidence of this magic of positive words. His 2 main experiments you could see in these 2 slides. They demonstrate human thoughts and intentions that can alter physical realities, such as molecular structure of water and of rice. He believed and proved emotional energies and vibrations could change the physical structure of water, and has published several books and slides. And you can actually go on YouTube and see some of these experiments because so many people have copied them to prove them. In picture 1, he put words and sounds in different jars of water and then froze them. And after a certain period of time, he took the water out, looked at the frozen structure under a microscope, and all the positive words and the positive poems and the positive songs created a beautiful structure of looking like a snowflake. That's actually crystals of water. And in the bottom part, if you see where the heavy metal music, sorry to offend some people who love heavy metal, but heavy metal music, I will kill you, you're a fool, before the water before the Buddha prayer, then on top of it is the water after Buddha prayer. You could see that it's very scary and it's all in disarray, all the cells. But I'm going to go into the picture 2 because that's kind of my favorite. Picture 2, they took cooked rice and put it into 3 jars and gave it to grammar school children for 60 days. And this is powerful. This is how power of words and intentions are. They were instructed every morning to say positive, happy things to the jar that says love, negative, harsh words to the jar that said hate, and say nothing to the jar that said nothing. They were instructed to ignore that jar. After 60 days, the jar marked love looked as fresh as the day it was sealed. It didn't smell, it looked perfect. The jar with the word hate had some mold and discoloration. The jar, to everybody's surprise, the jar that was ignored was rancid, it was completely rotten, and it smelled. So the outcome of both experiments is that negative words are negative energy, and words have power when put out there into the body and can have an effect on us more than we realize. It can actually cause a physiological effect. So this slide here really talks about, it shows the different hertz of the body, and Colleen explained that the earth has its own hertz, and this simply explains the scientific effects of emotions and how they create various frequencies in the body. You can see the higher the frequency or hertz vibration, the larger the expansion. If you could see the purple at the top, that's where it's expanding at the top of the cone. The expansion equals health. The lower frequency vibration, the greater the concentration, you could see the negative effect it has on the emotion presented. So fear, grief, guilt, all negative emotions. So the contraction of it is disease. So if you could see where your emotions can actually be tied in to how you feel in your immune system, and it carries that emotional energy to manifest into a physical, what's the word I'm looking for?
Physical changes in the body.
There you go.
Could be good or bad, right? So the better, higher frequencies make the body function at a higher level, and the lower negative frequency, or not negative frequency, but the lower frequencies are going to create negative or, bad changes in your
Just
body.
know when you're feeling sick, run down, or if you're feeling guilty or you're in a grieving, you actually feel sick afterwards. So you have a physical reaction to grieving, or you have a physical reaction to fear, despair, or anger. Anger can even make your body feel really bad.
So modern healthcare today, and what do we know about energy frequencies and vibrations today? So we already mentioned that we can measure certain organs' energy, like the heart with the EKG and the brain with the EEG. We also know that the nervous system is an electrical system, and it's impulses or energy. We know that at the cellular level, our cells are made up of subatomic particles, which are electrons, neutrons, and protons. We also know that the cell wall is strongly electrically charged. That controls movement of things in and out of the cell. So all these energetic things, we know all this, but why isn't bioenergetic treatment more mainstream?
Next one.
All right. Well, we're talking about modern techniques and devices that actually do measure the energy. There's a a bunch of different ways that we can look at this and show where things are out of balance or amiss. And that top left is an EEG. The one on the right at the top is a heart rate variability, and then down at the bottom is your EKG and stuff. So a real simple way to talk about how your body regulates itself and, a form of energy is your temperature. Your temperature is a simple thing to test. It's a simple device with a thermometer, and your temperature is a form of energy in your body. So as you use your thermometer, it's going to show if there's an increase or a decrease in temperature, but those changes aren't diagnosing anything. They're not diagnosing a disease. It's just telling you something's out of balance. When we're cold, we wear warm clothes and drink warm liquids. When we're really hot and outside in the heat, we might drink more fluids and cover our heads, to possibly prevent, heat stroke or something like that. But these are all actions that we're taking to create balance and prevent disease. We're not, we're just looking for balance in there. So EEGs, EKGs, and the heart rate variability are modern ways to assess when your energy system is out of balance and out of sync. The day science begins to study non-physical phenomena, it will make more progress in 1 decade than in all previous centuries of its existence. There's another cool Tesla quote. Modern medicine, though, has kind of forgotten about the energetic component. So we have all these devices and we measure these things, but modern medicine hasn't really addressed the bioenergetic side of the human healthcare other than some tests that we utilize. It's mainly focused more on the treatment of biochemical components, and that is pharmaceuticals. And why do they focus on pharmaceuticals?
Money.
Big money in pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical industry, how much is it worth? Well, I found a really cool website called BizVibe, so we like the name of that. They compiled stats on the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in the world by revenue in 2020, so last year. They show that the global pharmaceutical industry was worth $934.8 billion in 2017 and will reach 1.17 trillion in 2021. That's growth of 5.8%. Current estimates also that the global pharma spending will exceed 1.5 trillion in 2023. That's just 2 years from now. Those are some pretty scary statistics. Pharmaceuticals can be life-saving, they can be life-changing, but they can change your life in a negative way also. There's huge damage caused by medications on a yearly basis. A recent Johns Hopkins study claims that more than 250,000 people in the US actually die every year from medications and medical errors. Other reports claim that it could be as high as 50,000 people. Medical errors are the third leading cause of death after heart disease and cancer, but you will really almost never see that listed on a chart that shows you causes of death.
So we know that there are devices to measure certain parts of our bodies and energy fields, but how do we support our whole bioenergetic system? Like, this is so cute. How do we measure and explain this energy even better? And how do we support our individual bodies' bioenergetics? How do we recharge our own batteries? This is what we're going to teach you or show you.
So how do we measure and look at this a little bit differently? Well, we do that through quantum physics. This is a field of physics that has emerged over the last few decades to explain the interconnectedness of the energy throughout the world and our biology. Energy, electromagnetic fields, and our bioenergetics, they all affect each other. We're affected by them and they are affected by us. Quantum physics proves everything is energy, down to that basic cellular level. There are many instruments and devices that we kind of already talked about, that other ones that follow scientific principles. They create measurable results and show valuable promise in the field of bioenergetics and therapies.
So how do we support our individual body's bioenergetics? How do we support our whole energy field? There's a whole world of alternative healthcare with energetic based techniques like acupuncture, Reiki, Tai Chi, Qigong, homeopathy, and yoga. These are just a little blip of what you can see, what you can use. That's cool.
There are also medical devices and machines to help our bioenergetics. The treatment of the body through utilizing these devices has kind of been slow. And we believe because Big Pharma has been so huge and so powerful and creates billions of dollars, I'm sorry, trillions, soon to be trillions of dollars. That's what's keeping these kind of devices under wrap, because they're very helpful, very efficient, and work really well, but they're just not really widely known. There's a device called a Rife machine. There's a Beamer. Beamer uses PEMF, which is pulsed electric magnetic frequency. So yes, that's EMF, electromagnetic frequencies, but good ones that are harnessed and used properly. There's also a device called the Healy, which we're actually going to talk a little bit more about. There's microcurrent and something called specific microcurrent, and TENS units. They all use various types of frequencies to work on specific types of problems, specific cells or organs, and are just a general, some of them are a general overall great way to support
Energetic
your body.
balance.
Yeah, to create energetic balance. So as chiropractors, we can't go without mentioning benefits of chiropractic care. And so many people correlate chiropractic with just the relief from aches and pains, which chiropractic is excellent at doing that stuff. But chiropractic has a much deeper reach into your body and all its systems. It affects how your nervous system functions through the specific adjustments that we give to the spine. And the bones of the spine, safely guard the brain, the spinal cord, and the beginnings of all the nerves. Your nerves use electric impulses to transmit energy and information. This connects your brain to the rest of your body. Chiropractic, maybe kind of like acupuncture, breaks up blockages or regains those connections, which then has a positive effect on all kinds of body processes, like supporting your immunity, digestion, and even circulation. Remember one of those first slides we did where I showed you the body regulation? So all those body systems were in the picture that we had there. Chiropractic actually does support and balance all of those body systems, which is awesome.
Yes. So one of the other things that we're really excited about, and we have recently come across an amazing little device that does big things for your body. It's called the Healy. It's a microcurrent device, but it also has the ability to assess your own body's own bioenergetic frequencies. The Healy gives you information about how your own frequencies are working in your body at the moment of the scan, which we call real time. The Healy has programs of frequencies designed to work in the bioenergetic field of the body, treating the bioenergetic field first and support health before disease can possibly make it happen, before disease gets in. So the Healy is actually, we will be doing another Evolve class on the Healy specifically. We have a lot of Evolve classes coming up. So how do we support our own biogenics? And these techniques are all based on energy balancing of the body to create harmony, and my favorite word, homeostasis. So how do we naturally support your bioenergetic system? We all know of ways to achieve better health and wellness: good diet, exercise, stress relief, clean water, clean air, eating clean, and of course, breathing. But we can go a little deeper with ways to support your bioenergetic field and reduce the negative effects of EMF and the radiation we're exposed to on a daily basis. That's why we're here. The nutrients from natural foods have their own vibrations. Our bodies use this. This is why eating whole foods is an essential component to balancing your own bioenergetics. The sun provides ultraviolet light, which are natural wavelengths that help our bodies make chemicals we need, like vitamin D. During this time of the year, where sunlight is almost non-existent, we can use your indoor sun lamps. We can giving you a full spectrum of light that the body relies on. And of course, grounding. Grounding is very important. Grounding is the practice of energetically connecting to Mother Earth and rebalancing your bioenergetic field back to the Earth's core frequency, which Colleen told you before was 7.83 hertz. This process releases the negative energy from your personal energy field. So your body's releasing the negative energy into the ground, and it draws the positive energy from Mother Nature back into your bioenergetic field. This is a way to replenish and recharge your whole body and bring your body into my favorite word, homeostasis.
So from that picture, you can see feet in the grass. So this is why it feels so good to bury your feet in the sand at the beach, or, you know, walking outside barefoot in the grass. Now you can't do all these things in the middle of the winter, especially where we are in the, you know, the Northeast, but this is just one tool in your toolbox, you know, to help that process. Something else that's really cool is what are called solfeggio frequencies. The solfeggio frequencies make up an ancient 6-tone scale thought to have been used in sacred music, including the beautiful and well-known Gregorian chants. The chants and their special tones were believed to impart spiritual blessings when sung in harmony. So each solfeggio tone is comprised of a frequency required to balance energy and keep your body, mind, and spirit in perfect harmony. And you can see from the chart we have there that the different frequencies can actually affect different parts of your body and different things. So you can focus on one or more frequencies, or you can utilize all of them. Really easy, simple way to do this is go to YouTube and type in solfeggio frequencies, and you will find a multitude of videos and music, and the tones are in the background. Some of them is just the tones, or some of it's just the music and the tones are in the background.
You're just hearing some classical music. It's very soft music, and they process the tones and the hertz right to you, to your subconscious.
Good to do this when you're sitting in front of the computer. You can utilize them when you're sleeping.
Have them in the background.
I use them when I sleep a lot. I just have them playing. There's actual videos on YouTube that are like 3 hours, 6 hours long, 9 hours long. So you can run them while you're asleep in the background. So we're going to go to one more big thing is the EMFs again. And how do we protect against these negative EMFs and actually physically protect ourselves? So we gave you some information on how to do some things for yourself, but here we can have more added protection, another layer. So one thing we could do is we possibly could get rid of all of our devices. Do you think that's a possibility?
That's not going to happen.
No. And it's getting harder to keep up with society without them. I don't know how we could live without them anymore. You can turn your cell phone and other devices off at night when not using them. You can unplug things, and you can use something called EMF blockers. There's lots of studies that have been done with devices and their effects in close range, because we use these devices every day in close range. One study I thought was really interesting was gave us information that a 20-centimeter distance is somewhat safe. So think about where you would hold your phone in front of you, or maybe your laptop could be in front of you, 20 centimeters, and think about that. But what about children? We have all these kids that are using a lot of, utilizing devices all the time. They don't even have arm lengths that are 20 centimeters, some of them. So
and they're right in their face.
Yeah, even if their arms are long enough, their devices are still in their faces. So, and children are the most susceptible to the negative effects of EMF because of their developing brains. So that's something to be really, really concerned about. So there are some blockers that fully block EMF radiation. We have some that can actually alter and change the effects of the EMF on the body. You can put devices in your home that work in a whole room, or possibly your whole house. There are shielding devices you could put over smart meters. We have, well, there's cases for your smartphones. There's something that the upper left picture there is called a Faraday bag, and that will shield everything. So when you're not using certain devices, you can put them inside there. There's lots of options. There's pendants. There's numerous different companies that make these pendants. The little seashell on the left is actually a device that's helps to block and harmonize the EMFs. And that is just for your keys that you kind of have in your pocket and carry around with you all the time.
Tell them about the companies you found.
Yeah, so we did a little extra research and found some really cool companies, one called Gia Wellness. They have the pendants. I think you see that Gia Life pendants. There's another company called Hedron, which has pendants and other devices for phones and cases and stuff. Harmony, which has a really cool pendant that I didn't have a picture here. You can see a cell phone case. You can find a lot of these things easily on Amazon also. But I would, recommend that you
Do a little research.
do a little research, figure out what are your needs and what you would probably utilize. Maybe it's the cell phone case, maybe it's wearing a pendant. Just remember, a cell phone case is really only going to protect you from the cell phone. But when you wear a pendant or something like that, you are then protecting yourself from all the other EMFs around you that are happening in your house and from your neighbors' houses and from cell phone towers and things. So we
So give your cells the ability to run more efficiently with higher energy to make your bodies work more optimally.
right. So we hope this information gives you a little bit more of that knowledge to understand what the EMFs do, what bioenergetics are, how your body functions because of these things, how your body can be affected because of these things in a negative way or a positive way. And
how music can help, vibrations can help heal, music can help heal, soothe your heart, soothe your head, and
we want to say thank you. We are going to unmute ourselves here, or I'm sorry, we're going to stop screen sharing. But first, we wanted to answer any questions. We want to thank you. We wanted to give you some of our tagline here, our what are they? Hashtags, I don't even know.
Places to find us if you have, any other questions. If you want some of the information that we presented to you, you have 3 ways to find us.
Facebook, it's the Wellness Inspiration. So like us and follow us there. Instagram, the same thing, at the Wellness Inspiration, and like us and follow us. And you can always email us at thewellnessinspirationguides@gmail.com. If there's anything you want a little bit more information about or have any questions on.
If you want to know how to ground yourself indoors, especially during the winter time, I have a whole list of things that you can do. So just email us and we can give you the whole list. So we're going to unmute. We hope you got some great information, and she took our pictures. Hi.
Does anyone have any questions?
Questions in the chat. Oh, Diane.
No, that was really good though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Colleen's our researcher.
So, I'll tell you, when doing a little bit more research about this, and because I sat in front of the computer a lot, I definitely I need a pendant. I think that's something a lot of people really need to look into.
I'm excited. I'm getting one.
Yeah, no, I know. I've been looking into it too, because where everybody's on something and we're all in the same room. It's insane right now. Yeah.
Yeah. With working from home, kids at home and Zoom, we have everything floating around us constantly. So we got to find some other ways that we can protect ourselves. And we hope we get, you got some ideas from this, and
we didn't want to scare you. We didn't want to scare you with a lot of stuff, but we just want to make you more aware of what's going on around you with all the craziness. So there's a lot of 5G stuff coming out, and we just want you to protect your own bodies.
Right, Dr. Colleen, we were talking about this when I first started coming in. I think they're putting the 5G tower up in Ramsey.
Yeah. Somebody just also put in the chat, there's a Q-Link. That's another really, that's a very good device. That's been around for quite a while. So a lot of this stuff has been out there. There's been these devices that are out there to protect us and prepare us and stuff. But I think because it's becoming more mainstream to recognize the ill effects of all this, because there's so much of it, technology has changed so drastically, in such a short period of time that I think it's time that we really make this more of a focus for our healthcare. And that's why we really wanted to do this, this webinar, because we just want people to be more aware, and make some different choices. As with everything with your health, this is just another tool in your toolbox on how you, you protect yourself, and choices that you make that move us in the right direction.
So stay tuned for more Evolve classes coming up. So we're going to try to do them at least once a month and see how it goes. So if you see a topic that you like, come and join us. And thank you all. We
Thank
totally
you.
appreciate your support, and we hope you got some great information.
Oh, no, it was great.
So
Thank
find
you.
us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.